After God freed the Israelites from the pharaohs of Europe and Moses led them across the Atlantic over 40 years, the people camped on the western side of the Hudson. Then Joshua, son of Nun, sent 2 men secretly from New Jersey as spies, saying,
"Go view the land, especially New York City."
So they went and entered the apartment of a prostitute whose name was Rahab, and spent the night there.
Password?
Forbidden fruit.
Then the king of New York was told, "Some Israelites have come here tonight to search out the land." Then the king of New York sent orders to Rahab.
Open up! Bring out the f***ing spies.
True, the men came to me, but I did not know where they came from. And when it was time to close the gate at dark, the men went out. Where the men went, I do not know. Pursue them quickly, for you can overtake them.
She had, however, brought them up to the roof and hidden them.
I know that the Lord has given you the land, and that dread of you has fallen on us, and all the inhabitants of the land melt in fear before you. The Lord your God is indeed God in heaven above and on earth below. Now then, since I have saved you all, swear to me by the Lord that you in turn will spare my family. Give me a sign of good faith that you will spare my family and deliver our lives from death.
Bet, we got you.
You should leave through the sewers. You won't be detected down there.
Oh, never mind. Yeah. Oh, wait. Shoot.
We will be released from this oath that you have made us swear to you if we invade the land, and you do not tie this crimson sword.
Oh, okay. Go.
She sent them away, and they departed. Then she tied the crimson cord in the window.
I hope this works.
And the spies returned safely to Joshua.
Truly the Lord has given all the land into our hands. Moreover, all the inhabitants of the land will melt in fear before us. Yes, sir.
Well done, young Padawans.
But before the Israelites could proceed to New York, Joshua had to take care of one thing.
Hello, everyone. I just want to take this time to thank you all for joining our movement, and it's truly been an honor. But before we go on, we're going to have to perform a quick little surgery on all the men. I know it's a high price to pay, but if you don't do it, the Lord's going to take it another way.
I had forgotten about this.
I'm not doing this. I'm out of here. Deuces. Looks like the Lord's gonna take it another way from him. What about you?
You know, I like the Yahweh movement, but I guess I just wasn't cut out to be an Israelite.
After the men had healed, they proceeded. Now Joshua took all 12 tribes, of the poor, of the women, the children, the queer, the disabled, the indigenous, the widows, the orphans, the foreigners, the outcasts, the dark-skinned, and the landless, and led them across the Hudson. He shouted,
It's time to destroy Wall Street!
and all their idols of stocks and profits.
The 7 priests carrying the 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Lord passed on, blowing the trumpets continually. On the 2nd day, they marched around the city once, and then returned to camp. They did this for 6 days. On the 7th day, they rose early, at dawn, and marched around the city in the same manner 7 times. And at the 7th time, when the priests had blown the trumpets, Joshua said to the people,
Shout! For the Lord has given us this city. This city and all that is in it shall be devoted to the Lord for destruction. Rahab, the prostitute, and her family shall be spared because she has helped us. Now gather the silver and gold and leave everything else behind.
Then they devoted to destruction by the edge of the sword all who had been corrupted by the city, both businessmen and politicians, the nouveau riche and the old riche, and all the Teslas, Cadillacs, and rats. Joshua then pronounced this oath, saying,
Cursed be for the Lord be anyone who tries to rebuild this city, New York. At the cost of their oldest will they lay down the foundation, and at the cost of their youngest will they set up the gates.
So the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame was in all the land. Then the Lord said to Joshua, Stretch out the sword that is in your hand toward Ai, for I will give it into your hand. And Joshua stretched out the sword that was in his hand toward Ai, and all who worshipped it, those who would try to play God by attempting to create artificial life. And the Lord said, A little higher, a little to the left, more, too much, perfect. He held out the sword until he had utterly destroyed all the inhabitants, and all the Israelites were freed from their addiction to technology. But when the liberal white cis-hetero men of Portlandia heard what Joshua had done to New York and to Ai and to the many KK Canaanites and parasites, they on their part acted with cunning. They went and baked cookies and threw on cloaks, put on wigs, hunched their backs, and made their voices high.
More raspiness.
They went to Joshua and said to him and to the Israelites,
We carry no weapons of privilege, so now make a treaty with us.
Perhaps you do have weapons of privilege. Then how can we make a treaty with you?
We are your servants.
Who are you, and where do you come from?
Your servants are just frail old women who come to you because of the name of the Lord your God. For we have heard a report of him, of all that he did for Europe, for you in Europe. So our elders and all the inhabitants of our country said to us, Take these cookies and go to meet them, and say to them, We are your servants. Come now, make a treaty with us.
What long facial hair you have.
It's just reverse alopecia.
What prominent Adam's apples you have.
Oh, the women in our tribe are born with them too.
What unwrinkled skin you have.
Oh, I started using eye cream from a young age.
So the leaders ate their cookies and did not ask direction from the Lord. And Joshua made peace with them, guaranteeing their lives by a treaty. And the leaders of the congregation swore an oath to them. But when 3 days had passed after they had made a treaty with them, the Israelites heard that they were actually just white cis-hetero men and were living among them. So Joshua summoned them and said to them,
Hey, get back here. Why did you deceive us, saying we carry no weapons of privilege, while in fact you are of the oppressor class? Now, therefore, you are cursed, and some of you shall always be servants, sanitation workers, and dishwashers for the house of my God.
Because it was told to your servants for a certainty that the Lord your God had commanded his servants Moses to give you all the land and to destroy all the inhabitants of the land before you. So we were in great fear for our lives because of you and did this thing. But look, this is us protesting at Standing Rock, and at the Women's March, and at Charlottesville.
We were protesting against the fascists. Please, we have defected from our families and have nowhere else to go. But now we are in your hand. Do as it seems good and right in your sight to do to us.
Fine. You can keep being sanitation workers and dishwashers.
Yes!
So Joshua saved them from the Israelites, and they did not kill them. But on that day, Joshua made them sanitation workers and dishwashers for the congregation and for the altar of the Lord to continue to this day in the place that he should choose. When Emperor Bezos of Amazon heard how Joshua had taken Ai and had utterly destroyed it, doing to Ai and its king as he had done to New York and its king, and how the inhabitants of Portlandia had made peace with Israel and were among them, he became greatly frightened. So Emperor Bezos of Amazon sent for General Zuckerberg of the Medianites, King Trump of the Maggots, Count Murdoch of Fox, and Darth Musk of Elon.
Welcome. Join me and let us fight Portlandia, for they have made peace with Joshua and the Israelites.
Yes, yes. Let us crush those puny Israelites.
Yahweh, more like no way.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I will make clones to fight them. I will watch.
Good.
And the Portlandians sent to Joshua in Chicago, saying,
Joshua, son of Nun, do not abandon your servants. Come up to us quickly and save us and help us. For all the kings of Capitol Hill who live in the hill country are gathered against us. Please, you're our only hope.
So Joshua went up from Chicago, he and all the fighting force with him, all the mighty warriors. The Lord said to Joshua, "Do not fear them, for I have handed them over to you. Not one of them shall stand before you." So Joshua came upon them suddenly, having marched up all night from Chicago. And the Lord threw them into a panic before Israel, who inflicted a crushing blow on them at Portlandia. Meanwhile, these 5 kings fled and hid themselves in the cave at Seattle. And it was told to Joshua,
"They're hiding in the cave! Open the mouth of the cave and bring those 5 kings out to me."
They did so and brought the 5 kings out to him from the cave. King Bezos of Amazon, King Zuckerberg of the Medianites, King Murdoch of Fox, King Trump of the Maggots, and King Musk of Elon. When they brought the kings out to Joshua, Joshua summoned all the Israelites and said to the chiefs of the warriors who had gone with him,
"Come near. Put your feet on the neck of these kings. Do not be afraid or dismayed. Be strong and courageous, for thus doeth the Lord unto those who are against you."
Afterward, Joshua struck them down and put them to death. So Joshua defeated the whole land, the west coast and the east coast and the south and the Midwest, and all their corrupt kings, abusers, rapists, murderers, pedophiles, and cannibals. He left no one infected by Wetiko remaining, but utterly destroyed all that breathed the toxins of empire, as the Lord of Israel had commanded. And the land was divided into homes for the 12 tribes to be sanctuaries for all eternity.
The Lord has given you the land, and that, oh my gosh, these kids, you need
Shout! For the Lord has given us this city. I don't remember the next thing. To the Lord of destruction. Lord for destruction. Will they lay down the gates?
Action.
Hey! Hey! Come back here!